Have you ever noticed how so many people, once they reach 80 or beyond, suddenly seem less steady on their feet? It's not always a dramatic fall that changes everything. More often, it's something subtle. Little shifts. Small mistakes repeated over time. You don't notice them at first. But one day, walking across the room feels harder. Standing up feels less certain. And slowly, independence begins to slip away. The truth is, balance is not just about staying upright. It's about so much more. It's about the freedom to walk into your kitchen without fear of stumbling. The confidence to visit a friend without worrying about falling on the way. The independence to live life on your own terms, not relying on someone else's arm every step of the way. And yet, balance is one of the most fragile things we have as we age. Now here's the part most people never realize: balance doesn't just disappear with age. It's not something that automatically vanishes at 80. I have met men and women in their late 80s who walk strong, steady, and confident. And I've also met people 10 years younger who struggle just to get across a room. The difference? It often comes down to a handful of habits, small mistakes that chip away at your stability without you realizing it. Mistakes that nearly everyone makes, but very few people talk about. That's why in this video, we're going to break it all down. The 5 most damaging mistakes that cause older adults to lose their balance after 80. Each one is avoidable. Each one can be corrected. And the last one, I promise, is something almost nobody expects, yet it may be the single biggest hidden reason people lose their footing later in life. So stay with me. Because if you can spot these mistakes in your own life, and start making small adjustments, you can protect your steadiness for years to come. Let's begin. Mistake number 1, ignoring inner ear problems. One of the most overlooked reasons balance declines after 80 has nothing to do with your legs, your shoes, or even your eyesight. It's something deep inside your head, your inner ear. Most people think of the ear as just being about hearing. But inside, there's a small, powerful system called the vestibular system. This system works like a GPS for your body. It tells your brain where you are in space, whether you're moving forward, tilting sideways, or standing still. When the vestibular system is working well, you feel steady. But when it gets disrupted, suddenly even flat, solid ground can feel uncertain. The room might feel like it's shifting. You might feel dizzy when you get out of bed. Or you might find yourself grabbing onto walls or furniture, not because you're weak, but because your brain is no longer getting clear signals about balance. Here's the tricky part: these issues often creep up slowly. Maybe at first it's just a brief spin of dizziness when you roll over in bed. Or a flash of lightheadedness when you turn your head quickly. You dismiss it, thinking, "Oh, I just stood up too fast." But over months and years, those small moments add up. They change the way you move. You start walking more cautiously, avoiding uneven paths, or skipping activities you used to enjoy. And that avoidance weakens your balance even further. Let me tell you about Frank, a man I once met. He was 84, and he loved his daily walks around the neighborhood. But over time, he started noticing a strange disorientation whenever he looked over his shoulder. He brushed it off at first, but eventually he began skipping his walks. "It just feels off," he said. His doctor referred him to a specialist, and sure enough, Frank was diagnosed with a vestibular disorder. The treatment? Not some complicated surgery, just a series of gentle head and neck exercises. Within weeks, Frank's dizziness eased, and he was walking with the same confidence he had years before. That's the good news. Many inner ear problems can be managed or even corrected once they're identified. But the first step is not ignoring the signs. If you notice frequent dizziness, a tendency to drift to one side when walking, or trouble focusing your eyes when you move your head, don't shrug it off. These are not just old age. They are warning signals. A hearing and balance check could be all it takes to restore steadiness and confidence. Remember this: protecting your balance often starts in the places you least expect. And your inner ear, though hidden and silent, may be one of the most important guardians of your independence. Mistake number 2, declining vision. Now, let's move to the second mistake, and this one often goes unnoticed until it causes a serious stumble. Your eyes. Most people think of vision as just helping you see faces, books, or television. But your eyes are actually one of the most powerful balance tools you have. Every single step you take, your brain relies on visual cues to judge distance, depth, and obstacles. Imagine walking across a room. Your eyes are constantly scanning, noticing the height of the step, the edge of the carpet, or the chair in your path. Your brain then combines this information with signals from your ears and muscles to keep you steady. But what happens after 80, when vision starts to decline? Conditions like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, or even simple age-related blurriness begin to cloud those signals. Suddenly, the edge of the curb doesn't look as sharp. A step down might look shallower than it really is. Or a small object on the floor might blend into the background. That tiny misjudgment can mean a stumble, even in a room you've walked through 1,000 times before. And here's something most people don't realize: when your eyes stop giving clear information, your brain has to work harder. It struggles to coordinate with your muscles and inner ear, adding just a split-second delay. Sometimes, that's all it takes for a foot to catch, a misstep to happen, or a fall to occur. Lighting makes the situation even trickier. Dim hallways, shadowy staircases, or glare from bright sunlight can distort what you see. A glossy floor might look like a drop-off. A shadow might look like a step. Your brain hesitates, and that hesitation throws off your movement. Let me share a story. I once met Eleanor, an 82-year-old woman who had always loved her evening walks around her garden. But one day, she began feeling strangely unsteady, especially at dusk. At first, she thought it was just part of getting older. But during a routine checkup, her eye doctor discovered she had early-stage cataracts. After treatment and switching to glasses designed for better depth perception, Eleanor was amazed at how much steadier she felt. She even told me, "It wasn't my legs that were failing me. It was my eyes tricking me." The lesson here is simple but powerful: balance is not only about strong legs, it's also about clear vision. The encouraging part? Vision-related balance issues are often preventable or manageable. Here are a few simple but effective steps. Regular eye exams. Even if you think your vision hasn't changed, subtle problems can sneak up without you realizing it. Proper eyewear, glasses or lenses that correct depth perception can be life-changing. Better lighting at home, bright hallways, night lights in bedrooms, and lamps in stairways can eliminate shadows and prevent missteps. Simple environmental adjustments, for example, placing contrasting colored tape on stair edges makes each step more visible and safer. Clear vision doesn't just improve what you see, it strengthens your entire balance system. With sharp eyesight, your brain, muscles, and inner ear can all work together with more accuracy. So ask yourself, when was the last time you had your eyes checked? If it's been more than a year, that simple appointment might be one of the most important steps you take toward keeping your balance and independence. Mistake number 3, inactive leg muscles. Now let's talk about the third mistake, and this one is probably the most common of all. Inactive leg muscles. Think of your legs as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, the entire structure above becomes unstable. Every time you stand, every step you take, every time you shift your weight, your legs are quietly working to stabilize you. But here's the challenge: as we age, many of us begin to use those muscles less and less. We sit more, we walk less, and we avoid stairs or uneven ground. Slowly, without noticing, the very muscles that once held us steady begin to shrink and weaken. It's not just about strength. It's about reaction time. Strong legs act like shock absorbers, catching you quickly if you stumble, adjusting instantly when the ground changes beneath your feet. But when those muscles are weak, they can't respond fast enough. A small trip that would have been nothing at 40 or 50 suddenly turns into a dangerous fall at 80. and the decline shows up in little ways. You might notice it's harder to get up from a low chair without pushing on your arms. Climbing stairs feels like a chore. Standing for long periods leaves your legs tired. Or maybe your stride has shortened into a slow shuffle, which actually increases your risk of falling because your feet don't clear the ground. I'll never forget Robert, a 70-year-old I once spoke with. During a harsh winter, he stopped his daily walks and spent most of his time indoors. By spring, he noticed something alarming. He stumbled more often, even on flat ground. His doctor explained what had happened. Months of inactivity had quietly weakened his leg muscles. Robert didn't need a fancy gym or heavy weights to turn things around. He began with small exercises, standing up from his chair without using his arms, rising on his toes while brushing his teeth, and taking short daily walks. Within just a few weeks, his stability improved. By summer, he was moving with confidence again. The message is clear: if you don't use your leg muscles, you lose them. But here's the good news: it doesn't take extreme effort to rebuild strength. In fact, gentle, consistent movement is far more effective than occasional intense exercise. Try these simple habits. Stand up from your chair 5 times in a row without using your hands. Balance on one leg while holding a countertop for support. Walk the long way around the house instead of taking shortcuts. Do heel raises or mini squats while you wait for the kettle to boil. These small movements, repeated daily, keep your muscles engaged and your foundation strong. And remember this: keeping your leg muscles active isn't just about preventing falls. It's about protecting your independence. Strong legs mean you can continue climbing stairs, carrying groceries, visiting friends, and enjoying the activities you love without fear of losing your balance. So ask yourself, are you giving your legs the daily challenge they need? Or are you letting them quietly weaken with inactivity? The answer could determine how steady, confident, and free you feel in the years ahead. Mistake number 4, poor posture and alignment. The fourth mistake that quietly steals balance after 80 is something so subtle, most people don't even notice it happening. Poor posture and body alignment. When you were younger, standing tall came naturally. Your shoulders were back, your head was up, and your weight was evenly centered over your feet. But as the years go by, small posture shifts creep in. Shoulders begin to slump forward. The head tilts down. The spine curves just a little more than it used to. These changes might look small in the mirror, but inside your body, they make a big difference. When your posture changes, your center of gravity shifts. Instead of being balanced squarely over your feet, your weight moves forward or to one side. Suddenly, you're walking with your body slightly off balance, and even a small misstep can tip you over. And it doesn't stop there. When posture shifts, your muscles also start working differently. The core, back, and hip muscles that used to support you become weaker because they're no longer being used correctly. Meanwhile, other muscles overcompensate, straining and tightening. This creates stiffness, pain, and even more changes in the way you move. It's a snowball effect. Poor posture, shifted balance. Shifted balance, weaker muscles. Weaker muscles, even worse posture. And the cycle continues. I remember meeting Helen, an 82-year-old who loved gardening. She began noticing that she tripped more often while working in her yard. She assumed it was just part of aging, until her physical therapist pointed something out. Helen had been leaning forward slightly when she walked, something she didn't even realize. That tiny forward lean meant her weight was already off-center. Any small uneven patch of ground could throw her balance off completely. Her therapist gave her gentle stretches for her chest, strengthening exercises for her back and core, and even something as simple as the reminder to lift your chin when you walk. Within weeks, Helen felt steadier, more confident, and even said she enjoyed her garden again without fear of falling. So how do you know if your posture is slipping? Here's a simple test. Stand against a wall. The back of your head, shoulders, and hips should all touch the wall at the same time. If that feels difficult or unnatural, it's a sign your posture may have shifted. The encouraging truth is this: posture can be improved even after 80. With small, consistent habits, you can retrain your body to align itself properly. Try these adjustments. Stretch your chest by clasping your hands behind your back and gently pulling. Strengthen your back with exercises like squeezing your shoulder blades together. Engage your core by practicing standing tall and drawing your stomach in lightly. And most importantly, lift your gaze when you walk. Looking forward instead of down keeps your head aligned and your balance centered. Remember, your body is like a tall building. If the foundation is strong but the tower leans forward, it becomes unstable. Correcting posture is like straightening that tower. Suddenly, every step feels more secure. And here's something most people overlook: poor posture doesn't just affect your balance. It can also affect your breathing, your digestion, and even your confidence. Standing tall isn't just about steadiness. It's about sending your body the message that it is still strong, capable, and ready to move through life with stability. Mistake number 5: unsafe footwear choices. The fifth mistake is one that surprises many people because it seems so simple. The shoes you wear. It might not sound dramatic, but footwear can make the difference between steady, confident steps and a dangerous fall. Here's why: as we age, our feet change. Arches flatten. Joints stiffen. Feet swell more easily. That means the shoes that felt fine when you were 50 may no longer be safe at 80. Yet many older adults continue wearing the same styles, or even the same pair of shoes they've had for years, not realizing how much their footwear is quietly working against them. Shoes that are too loose allow your foot to slide around inside. Shoes with slippery soles give you no grip on smooth floors. Narrow or pointed shoes squeeze your toes and throw off your natural balance. Even something as small as a slight heel can tilt your weight forward, making it harder to stay stable. And here's something important: the most dangerous shoes are often the ones we think of as comfortable. Worn-out slippers may feel cozy, but without good traction they can slip out from under you. Old sneakers with flat, smoothed-out soles may no longer grip the ground. Soft, floppy sandals can bend and twist, leaving your foot unstable on uneven surfaces. I'll give you an example. Robert, a 78-year-old who prided himself on walking every morning, nearly fell twice one winter on wet pavement. At first, he blamed the weather. But when his daughter looked at his shoes, the problem was obvious: the treads on the bottom were worn smooth. After switching to shoes with firm, non-slip soles and proper support, not only did Robert feel safer, but he also noticed his legs felt less tired after walking. His shoes had been silently forcing his body to work harder just to stay upright. Another hidden problem is wearing the wrong size. Believe it or not, our feet continue to change with age. Flattening arches and reduced fat padding mean that the size you wore at 60 may not fit properly at 80. Shoes that are too tight restrict circulation and cause pain, while shoes that are too loose let your foot slide around, increasing the chance of tripping. So what should you look for in safe footwear? A low, wide heel, no more than an inch high. A firm sole with strong grip to prevent slipping. Proper cushioning that absorbs shock but doesn't wobble under pressure. A design that holds your foot securely without being too tight. Even indoors, footwear matters. Walking in socks or floppy slippers can be surprisingly dangerous. A sturdy pair of well-fitting house shoes with solid soles provides stability on smooth floors and reduces the chance of slipping. Remember, balance begins from the ground up. If your shoes aren't supporting you, your entire body has to work harder to keep you steady. By simply choosing the right footwear, you give yourself a strong foundation with every step you take. So, let's step back for a moment. We've uncovered 5 mistakes that quietly steal balance and independence from seniors. Weakening core muscles. Poor hydration. Not using vision checks. Ignoring inner ear health. And unsafe footwear choices. Each one may seem small on its own. But together, they can create a dangerous chain reaction, where balance falters, mobility shrinks, and the risk of falls climbs higher. Here's the good news: every single one of these mistakes is within your power to fix. You can rebuild your core strength with simple daily movements. You can hydrate smarter and protect your muscles and joints. You can sharpen your vision with regular checkups and the right glasses. You can protect your inner ear health by being mindful of medications and infections. And you can give yourself a safer foundation with the right footwear. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about taking small, steady steps to protect the freedom you deserve, the freedom to walk without fear, to stand tall, and to enjoy life on your own terms. And here's something important: staying balanced isn't just about your body. It's about your confidence, your independence, and your dignity. By avoiding these mistakes, you're not only protecting your health, you're protecting your quality of life. So, the next time you stand up, take a step, or walk across the room, remember this: balance is not something we lose overnight. It's something we protect, day by day, with the choices we make. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Elderly Minds and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next guide to stronger, healthier living after 60. And now, I'd like to hear from you. Which of these 5 mistakes surprised you the most? Have you noticed changes in your balance lately, and what's worked best for you to feel steady again? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else watching today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay strong, stay steady, and keep walking forward with confidence.